Normally, not less than 7 or 8,000 tourists visit Abu Simbel to see this phenomenon. Actually, some scholars say this phenomenon related by the birthday and the coronation day of King Ramses the Great, but the rest told it just astronomy phenomenon, don't relate it to the king, his relationship and something. The third god is God Amun, the god of Thebes. Actually, God Rahurakht was worshipped in Heliopolis, the capital of Egypt. Amun was worshipped in Thebes, modern Luxor now. And finally is the god Betah, the god of art, artist and darkness. And also he was worshipping in the capital of Egypt, which is called Memphis. So the principal god of Egypt, in the same size was King Ramses the Great. In this room there is a unique phenomenon happened twice a year. In 21st of October and 21st of February, when the sun shining from the east, it's across the door getaway and across the hypostyle hall and the other hall to illuminate this room. Actually, it's eliminate the statue, but it's eliminate 3 statues only. The statue of Rahurakht, Sun God, Hora, Ramses, and Amun. But God Betah is keeping in dark because he's a god of darkness. So not suitable for the sun to illuminate his face. So he's keeping dark. After they elevated the monument, the symbol of Abu Simbel was covered and forgotten in history and was buried under the piles of sand for a century and recently discovered. And actually the sand protects and saves this monument in a very good condition. The two temple of Abu Simbel was discovered in 1813 with the Italian discoverer Giovanni Belzoni discovered this monument in 1813. So we discovered this monument from about 200 years ago. But before that time, for a very long time, it just buried under the sand. The facade of the monument, as I told you, this temple was cut in one piece of rock. The facade of the monument decorated by 4 statues depicting King Ramses the Great. The statue is Ramses the Great while he is sitting over the throne of Egypt and who is wearing the double crown of Egypt, the crown of Upper and Lower Egypt and fourth Pharaoh. Actually, the second statue, the head of the second statue was falling down in earthquake happened 27 BC. And when they discovered the monument, they found the statue was falling down. They ever reassembled this head in its original location, but they want to keep it as they found it, as a part of history. To imagine how that statues are very huge, the tall or the height of that colossal statue about 20 meters, 6 floors. The distance between lips to lips 1.5 meters. From air to air about 4 meters. And if you're looking clearly to the statues, you'll find the 4 statues are identical, the same, except the faces. If you look into the faces, you'll find the faces reflect the different age of the pharaohs. The first statue here reflects the king, a very young pharaoh, and the last one over there, a very old age. So the difference in face actually reflects different age of the pharaohs. As I told you, King Ramses II ruled Egypt for a long time, 67 years. Beside and inside the legs of the statue, there is a small statue. You see it? This small statue actually depicting the royal family of the king, King Ramses the Great. And actually the family is very important for the pharaohs in the past. The king or the pharaoh's must depicting his wife, his mother, his son and daughters beside him, but in a small scale. At the top of the mountain you'll find there is a row of baboons. This baboon actually raise their bow to greeting and welcoming the rising sun from the east. Actually the direction here north, south, east, west. The temple located to the east, and when the sun shining from the east, the bow raises his hand to greeting and welcoming the sun god Ra. Down the row of baboons, there is two rows of inscription, have the titles of the pharaohs, King Ramses the Great and the Lord of the Two Lands, the beloved of gods, and some titles actually, the beloved of God's word. Above the entrance, in the middle there is entrance. Above the entrance there is a small niche. Inside the niche there is a statue. You see that statue? This statue actually depicting the sun god called Ra-Hur-Akht. Ra-Hur-Akht, which means God Horus in the two horizons of God Ra. God Horus in the two horizons of God Ra. God Ra-Hur-Akht represented by a human body, head of the falcon head, and solar disk, sun disk over his head. And actually the god holding two signals in his hand. In his right hand he holding the signal of jackal, the wild dog jackal. Okay? The jackal is called Osir and the symbol of power of the god. His right hand he holds the signal of goddess Ma'at, is the goddess of truth and justice. So, from 3,200 years ago or 300 years ago, the ancient Egyptians realized that the power must go hand by hand with justice. Power without justice means nothing. Justice without power also means nothing. On the two sides of the god Ra-Hur-Akht, there is two scenes depicting King Ramses the Great himself, while he offering the signal of goddess Ma'at to god Ra-Hur-Akht. Actually, goddess Ma'at represented by a lady, and there is a feather over her head. There is some small statue in the front of the huge statue. This statue depicting the falcon god Horus and King Ramses the Great in the Osiris shape. Osiris is the disease god, the dead people god, the underworld god. So when the king be in the Osiris shape, it means he will be god for the disease, for the dead people. Under the throne of King Ramses the Great, there is two rows of war prisoners. In the north row, or in your right row, you find row of Libyans and Syrians, the North people. In the south, you'll find row of war prisoners depicting the niggers, the Nubian and the nigger. And you can see the features over their face. The feature of the northern people different from the feature of the southern